welcome, Helen.
Thank you.
It's been a little more than a year since you began overseeing the working careers coverage at FT. So that working careers section includes the portfolio rankings.
It does.
FT
Business
rankings.
education. Complete responsibility for the rankings.
And there are a lot of them
And
now,
there's a lot
right? How many of them are there?
We have 7 main rankings every year, and then we have several sort of spin-off rankings and mini rankings. It varies year to year, but usually we do an extra 2 or 3 for, we've started doing directories as well of business schools. So yeah, lots of work. Lots of work.
Sounds rather continuous.
Yeah.
So at any given moment, you and your team are preparing to release a new ranking, it
That's
seems.
right. Yeah, we have a strict sort of annual timetable.
So what keeps you excited about doing this? What drives you in this work that you're doing with the rankings?
Well, what I find exciting is that business education is absolutely core to the Financial Times proposition. It sort of underpins everything that our readers are interested in.
The global.
Yeah, it's global.
Right.
Business education is global. The people in the world of business education are global citizens. They, I talk to business schools and the people who work in them all the time. It's very much a global industry, and the Financial Times is obviously a global newspaper. But more than that, our rankings are of interest to all our readers, whether they are alumni or whether they are existing students, potential students, and really everyone's a potential student, or employers, or as parents. In some capacity, all our readers are interested in business education.
In an industry, well, not only is business changing, but journalism is changing.
Yeah.
Business education is changing. Where do you think the rankings, the FT rankings in particular, are going in the future? Where would you like them to go?
We have introduced some new rankings, and these are purely editorial rankings, so they're not necessarily commercial propositions. These are stories that we pursue because we think the data is interesting.
For example?
For example, Directory of Chinese Business Schools. Very few Chinese business schools were getting into the main FT rankings, but we could see that there was a lot of interesting stuff going on in China, and that if we were going to report the whole picture, the whole global picture without sort of touching on Chinese business schools, it was sort of becoming a nonsense because it's such a booming industry.
Right.
So we decided to put together a directory of Chinese business schools. We don't rank them, we just list them, and it's searchable. But we have, interesting editorial around it as well, stories, videos, interviews, that sort of thing.